Now then, YouTube. Well, the really great news is I'm back on the bike. Yeah, I've been out on a couple of rides, quite interesting ones actually. I'll share those with you in a moment. Big day coming up in about 3 or 4 days' time. I get the results of my first blood test, kind of for real after all the treatment finished. So I'm a little bit trepidatious about that, if I'm completely honest. I mean, I have no reason to be, but the thing with cancer is it's got a nasty habit of taking you by surprise. Anyway, let's forget about that for now. We can put it in a box for the next 2 or 3 days, and I'll bring you the results before the end of the video. But for now, I think we should go on a ride. Okay, well, I've had lots of rest, lots of boring rest. I've had the best part of a week, probably more than a week, just not doing anything at all really. Well, you know, a bit of gardening, that kind of thing, but certainly not out on the bike. So this is the first time back after the terrible hip problem, which I have no idea whether it's resolved or not yet. So this ride is an experiment, really. I mean, there's no point caning it and then making my hip so inflamed that I can't ride a bike. So the whole point now is start slowly, maybe up the pace a bit, maybe up the intensity a bit, and see what this terribly troublesome tendon in my hip is prepared to tolerate. Route planning proved less than optimal because I'd forgotten 2 things. 1, there'd been a huge storm the day before, and 2, this route fords a river about half a dozen times. All these river crossings, which are normally dry, are full of water. They always say don't ride into a puddle where you can't see the bottom of. I think I might go by that creek today. It's a beautiful trail, this one. We're actually only, I don't know, 200 or 300 metres away from a major road, but you can't see it, you can't hear it. You could be in absolutely the middle of nowhere. It's a lovely trail. I think we're coming up to another river crossing here. Caution required. I had to walk that one. That just looked too deep and too wide to ride across. I could see myself going arse over tit there. It's not so warm today, but in the height of summer, these green tunnels are so beautifully shaded. Whoa. That was a bit slippy. Yeah, I think talking and filming and navigating this little section may be unwise. Okay, well that's experimental ride number 1 done. I mean, no matter how injured or ill you are, once you get in the saddle you always feel great, don't you? And true to form there, I felt great. So I didn't push it, I've only done an hour, very low intensity really. As I say, we are in experiment territory at the moment. And we'll see what reaction, if any, I get from the terrible hip problem. Fingers crossed nothing. I've been doing my exercises diligently, like really diligently, every day. And I've got another appointment with the physio in a couple of days' time. So fingers crossed it doesn't react and I can get back out on the bike on a more regular basis. These forests are absolutely teeming with wild boar. They're endemic here, as they are in large parts of Europe. Very occasionally you will come across hunters. I mean, these things have got to be culled because there are so many of them. And I did see a few laid out after an obviously pretty successful hunt for the hunters, and my goodness me, they are big animals, really big creatures. You never see them during the day. They do whatever wild boars do during the day, which is sleep, I think. They come out at night, so when you're out on rides like this, you don't see them. But they're in there somewhere. The wet spring played havoc with the tarmac roads. They're all being patched now, but it's also had an effect on the hard-packed gravel trail. More kind of rain ruts than normal. The other thing the wet spring has done is it's massively increased pollen, I'm sure. The yellow dust you can see coming off trees in a breeze is just incredible. And it's also increased these things. These come off plane trees. Look at how many there are here. Look, looks like it's been a snowstorm. I mean, and the air gets thick with these things. The wet spring just kind of encouraged everything to go crazy. Look at it all here. It's settled on the water. I don't really like walking past reservoirs in cleats. Quite the sight. Kind of looks like somebody's emptied a duvet, doesn't it? Bon dia. But what I haven't quite worked out on the whole wild boar thing is why you don't see more of them on the menu. I mean, I've done bike rides in Tuscany in Italy, and wild boar are endemic there too, and you can't move in a restaurant for menu items like wild boar ragu and wild boar stew and wild boar spaghetti and wild boar everything. But here in Catalonia, they don't seem to eat them. Churches or castles? You can't go on a ride in Spain without seeing one or other, or usually both. I love these gravel rides though, in a very, very short order. You can be in the middle of nowhere really. I mean, we're only, I don't know, a kilometre from kind of civilization. But this is so quiet, so peaceful. Really nice. Starting off, got a meaty climb on the tarmac at the moment, but as ever in Catalonia, there's two ways to every destination. You can either choose asphalt or gravel, and today we're going to choose gravel once we get past this tarmac bit. Well, we're pretty much at the top now and about to transition from gravel on back onto tarmac. That was one of the main reasons I bought this bike. I think the bike industry has invented yet another new category. I think they call it an adventure bike. But basically, it's a road bike that's gravel capable. I like to call it a do-anything bike, but certainly living it or riding a lot in this part of the world. A bike that can handle both gravel and tarmac and cobbly roads, which we're now on, hence the bumping, is definitely the way forward. But this is a test of that. Oh, that's a test of the stabilisation qualities of the camera. And there we go, back onto lovely, smooth tarmac. Okay, long descent, concentrate. Two pretty good pieces of news to finish this video on. After those 3 rides, piece of good news number 1, after those 3 rides and a few more, I am very pleased to say there is no jip from the hip. The hip is pain-free, which is great. Now, obviously, is not the time to stop doing exercises, and I have no intention of doing that. Other piece of good news is somewhat more substantive. About an hour ago I spoke to my medical team. I'm slightly worried the camera's going to blow over. It's a bit windy here today. I spoke to my medical team and the results of my latest blood tests are absolutely excellent. Bang on. Right down the line, exactly where they need to be. I won't bore you with the numbers, but they are tip top. So I'm extremely pleased about that and a little relieved, even though I wasn't major worried, but you know, Good to know that. So yeah, two great pieces of news to finish this one on. Thanks for watching. Do the whole like and subscribe thing if you want. It'd be great if you could. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.